Hi, my name is Marco Liias. I'm State Senator from the 21st District, and welcome to today's Washington Whiteboard, our first of 2016. And today we're talking about charter schools. In 2012, the voters of Washington State approved a charter school law to allow the creation of these specialized schools for students around the state. A group of citizens led by the League of Women Voters felt like the way the initiative was drafted was unconstitutional, so they sued, brought a case all the way to our state Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court last September agreed that our charter school law that was passed was unconstitutional. So I wanted to explain a little bit why and help identify some of the solutions that we've come up with. So first, let's talk about our public schools. So we have in our public school districts a school board that's elected by the public. That school board then is in charge of the local public schools and makes decisions about who's the superintendent, what's taught in the courses, and there's an accountability through the school board back to the community that the schools are serving. And that is part of our constitutional design. The constitutional framers wanted our local schools to be under the control of local leaders elected by local voters as part of a way to ensure that accountability to the people. So when we have our charter school system, the system is a little bit different. So here's our charter school, except for instead of the public, it's a state charter commission that is in charge of the charter schools. So here's the commission. And instead of the charter commission supervising the schools themselves, there's often a nonprofit or some kind of charter board for the particular school that is the middleman, and then finally there's the school. So there's two fundamental challenges with this. One, the public's not in this at all. Instead of the public, there's the state charter commission, but then those same dollars that are supposed to go to our public schools are flowing to these charter schools. And the Supreme Court said this was the problem, that there is no public in this institution or in this system that is overseeing and providing that control of those public schools. So that's where our solution comes in. Rather than getting rid of the charter schools, or rather than continuing this system, the Democrats have advanced a proposal where local school districts would authorize these charter schools. So once again, these charter schools would have accountability back to the school board and through the school board back to the public in that particular community. So voters would know that whether it's a public school or a charter school, that they're all being overseen locally. So that's how we would solve this problem. Unfortunately, we haven't gotten bipartisan support to fix the problem in this way yet, but we're going to keep working on that. It raises an important issue though. We've got about 1,200 kids, and this sheet tries to sort of summarize those 1,200 kids in our charter schools today. At the same time we've got that challenge with those 1,200 kids, we've got 1 million kids in our public schools that are suffering without the adequate funding, without the small class sizes, without teachers that are getting fairly compensated for their work. So we've got to solve the problem for 1,200 kids, but we've also got to work on education funding for the 1 million kids in our public schools. And that's going to be the subject of our next Washington Whiteboard, talking about how we can fully fund our schools for our students.